Welcome, everybody. It is Tuesday night, the 20th of February, I think. I'm absolutely freezing, so I have this big coat on. Anyway, totally freezing. Let me know what the weather is like in your neck of the woods. I think the groundhog lied to us. So our topic tonight, this is if you're just like, what the heck is Michelle Archer doing? Our topic is success mindset, and this is part of a 12-part series, 12 topics about being healthy, wealthy, and wise in 2024. So, success topics, mindset topics, had all kinds of people on. We're going to do creating a great Zoom experience coming up with a dear friend of mine, Angela Kring, and there's all kinds of fun things coming. So, this is 8. So, we have 4 left if my math is right. So, before we get started, tag a friend if this is popping up in your feed and you want to share it with them. Facebook's crazy these days. It gets crazier and crazier and crazier. So hopefully you're seeing it. If you're not signed up to get text reminders or email reminders, just drop reminder in the comment and I'll be sure that you get those because I've posted on Facebook. We've been doing this since January 15th. But anyway, you'll probably see it in about 5 days if you're not getting reminders. And we did a whole series, a whole session on why it's so important to stay connected with people off of social media and on social media for that exact reason because it isn't the most reliable thing out there. I'm just checking my side screen here for any kind of comments. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Carol. Hey, Monica. And y'all can hear me fine. Oh, so good to see you girls. I am so excited about this topic. It is one of the most transformational things in my life, and I could spend hours on it. I'm just going to do 5 tips. This is a short version. I have a mastermind group, our mastermind series launching in February, March, yep. That we dedicate a whole week to this. And there's different activities and different exercises for you to do. I'm just going to share my top 5. And because that's kind of a lot. So I hope to leave you with some really, really good things that are going to make an impact on you, really help you reevaluate how you think about things, help you gain the success that you desire or achieve the success that you desire. But know that I've got a full-blown course launching. If you want to know more about Mastermind, just hashtag Mastermind in the comments below and I'll be sure that you get the information. But for starters, we're just going to do my top 5 things. And this is something that I really, really struggled with growing up. We all come from different places. I think we all live imperfect childhoods, raised by imperfect people, and we are imperfect people too. So we can we cultivate some really unhealthy habits, and the enlightenment of adulthood is saying, hey, that's a really unhealthy habit and it's time for you to change that. Interestingly enough, most people do one-on-one coaching with me in their 40s, and so that seems to be the age of enlightenment. I was watching one of my favorite speakers today, Jim Rohn, Rohn. He's been passed for quite a while, but he was just so brilliant. And he said, whenever you get the message is the time to take action on it. If you're 25 or 35 or 55, it doesn't matter. Now's the time to take action. So if you want to talk about one-on-one work, let me know too, because that is one of the things that I enjoy so much is working with people one-on-one. Group is great, and y'all learn so much from each other in a group. But one-on-one is a little more customized, right? Of course. My mouse is doing crazy things tonight. All right, so my first tip to really, really get control over your mindset and to get out of this amazing tool the most that you can to build the life of your dreams, the business of your dreams, just to be happy and healthy and healthy and wise, right? It's self-talk. Most of us, on average, the average human being has 50 to 70,000 thoughts a day. And you may think, oh, no way. Sometimes I ask my husband, what are you thinking about? And he'll say nothing. And I'm like, it's not possible. Because my head is like, I've got 47 browser tabs open and I really can't figure out where the music is coming from. Anyway, he's thinking something. He just doesn't want to share it. So 50 to 70,000 thoughts a day. And these are automatic thoughts. They've been with us as long as we can remember. They come from somewhere, but they've been with us always. We all have a natural negative bias. It's encoded in our DNA. and I've done a lot of mindfulness study and a few other things, and that's what everyone says, is that there is this natural negative bias that we have to fight daily. Just because you think it doesn't make it true. It's just something that flips through your head for a second. A lot of these thoughts, they flip through so quick that we don't even consciously register them, but our subconscious is registering them, and they are absolutely debilitating us. And again, everybody struggles with it, me included. Anybody who tells you that they don't have to manage their self-talk, they're trying to sell you something, because we all struggle with it in our I don't know, struggle for greatness, I guess. So what do you do about it? So I have these negative thoughts. Most of us are not even aware of how bad we talk to ourselves. And if you start writing this stuff down, you really would not talk to your dog the way that you talk to yourself in a day. And you're not even really aware of it, because again, they're flipping through so quick. And then something else is going on and you're multitasking and whatever. So the first thing we need to do is we need to stop and really listen to them. Capture that thought of whatever it is. I'm so stupid. That's the number one thing that people say to themselves. And what's really interesting is and I will ask you, I want you to capture your top 10 this week. You don't have to post it publicly or anything. You can just message it to me. But if we were in a smaller group setting, like the mastermind, we'll start throwing things out and people will start listing things. And almost every one of us would have, in our top 10, we're going to share 6 to 8. It's like a playlist. It's part of the human condition. So first we have to listen to them and acknowledge that they're taking place. And secondly, that they're not helpful to you. So you have to challenge those thoughts. Again, just because you think it doesn't make it true. Just because your mind manufactures that doesn't make it valid. It's just something that you've been taught, that was modeled for you, whatever. It doesn't make it true, though. And so until you decide that I'm going to really spend a little bit of time with the thoughts that I'm having, even if they're unpleasant, and I'm going to challenge those for their validity, nothing really changes. It just runs amok in your head, these thoughts all day long, and they really are debilitating to you. So your homework, I call it capture and reframe. So write it down. Honestly, you can put it on your phone, post-it notes, a notebook, whatever. Anytime you think I am so, or that was so, or I wish I were, whatever, stop, breathe a little bit, and spend a few minutes with that, thinking, where did that thought come from that I'm whatever, too loud? There's one that women, we get told we're too a lot of things. We're too loud, we're too boisterous, we're too talkative, whatever. And then that becomes part of our internal dialogue, and that runs constantly. It's like a program running in the background telling you how terrible you are. It's super fun. I don't know why God set it up this way, but that's kind of the way it works. It's a challenge. So write them down and then reframe it. I am stupid. Yeah, that's a good one. The reframe, you need to write it once and reframe it 3 times, because the power of your own voice inside your skull, there's nothing more powerful. So you have to really, really work hard to overcome it. So 3 times, the reframe for me might be, I'm learning, I'm getting better, I'm acquiring a new skill set, right? So that you're not beating yourself up all day long. The world will do that for you. It is not necessary for you to beat yourself up. It's out there. So that's the homework, is capture them and reframe them. And you'll start to see kind of what your top 10 list is. And there's all kinds of things. We could go into it. I mean, there's like hundreds of things, hundreds of bad things we say to ourselves. Monica's saying self-talk is very hard. Yeah, it really is very hard. It is probably the most challenging thing. And that's why most of what holds us back is between our own 2 ears. It's nothing out there. It isn't even a lack of skill most of the time. It is that we talk ourselves out of success constantly by the verbiage that we're throwing at ourselves all day long. So I'll be really interested. Y'all can message me anywhere on my profile, on my page. You know, it's the confessional. I won't share it. But develop that top 10 playlist, and you'll really kind of start to see where that verbiage comes from. I'm going to catch up on comments real quick. Looks like lots of hearts, and I'm too much and others are too perfect, is what Monica is saying. Yes. And as women, and I know we've got some fellas, I love working with my guys. It's a little bit of a different struggle, and it may be the same too. But as girls, if we are particularly energetic and particularly talkative, funny, gregarious, outgoing, whatever, we get told we're two. And raise your hand in the comments below if you ever got talks too much on your report card. I mean, they would say it, everyone. Funniest thing is I moved back from Louisiana when I was in the second grade, halfway through second grade. And we lived like down in the bayou, Baton Rouge, Lafayette. Anybody? Do let me know if you're from Louisiana, because that's a trip and a half. Monica's saying got talked too much, right? So when I moved back to Nashville, my family moved back to Nashville, I got talks too much, but nobody could understand me. That was Pidgin. That was Justin Wilson. Nobody could understand me because I talked in Cajun Pidgin. So I talked too much, but nobody understood me either. And we get that. And school serves a purpose. It is to teach us a lot of things, and you have to manage children. In the process of that, some of us who are butterflies and like to flit from group to group and talk, that gets punished in us. And so then we start to try and be small and take up less space and not talk so much and not be the center of attention or not be a drama queen or whatever that is. And so that self-talk, that's part of the self-talk that's running in your head. So understand that that is not the truth. It was something someone said to you one time at an impressionable age, and you've taken that to heart. And now it's affecting your ability to become successful, to move past the next obstacle. And here's the thing I love about growth and success. To get anywhere, you have to become more. You have to evolve. It's the blessing on the journey is that what got you there won't get you here. So to get here, you get to become more than you were here. That's a tough lesson. It's a tough journey, but that's the stuff that changes lives for real. Again, my mouse is acting up. I wonder if I need batteries. Okay. Second thing, personal narrative. You have one. It's the story that you tell yourself about you. And you may not even get up every morning and say, self, let me tell you about yourself. But it's there, and it is pervasive in everything that you do. It is what we believe about ourselves. Sometimes we refer to these as generational curses. Poverty is a generational curse. I was born poor. I was raised poor. I'm supposed to be poor, right? That's something that some of us believe about ourselves. And I will tell you, I was born poor. I was raised poor, and I made something different happen in my life through a lot of hard work and partnering with a really great guy. We've made some great things happen. But that was part of mine. Is you should just bow your head and thank God for what you have. And almost that it's unholy or something to reach for more, to aspire to more, to have this burning yearning in your being to be more than you were raised to be. And there's nothing wrong with that. If we're not reaching for something greater than we are right now, we're not growing. And personal growth is so important. I think that's part of why we're here. So these beliefs are passed down. Another one that I was bequeathed with somehow is that no matter what I do, my story, the story never ends happily. So then by proxy, my story never ends happily. That's pretty detrimental, isn't it? Like no matter what you do, it's just going to suck at the end. Yeah, I don't know. What's holding you back in life? I had to trace that one out, figure out where did I pick that little lesson up? I had to challenge it again and say, who said the story doesn't end happily? Who were they to tell you such a thing as that? I had to flip the script on that and realize that I am in control to a degree of how my story ends. And I'll tell y'all, most of you know, I'm a kidney transplant person, kidney warrior, whatever, not patient. And sometimes I still have to challenge that because there's some unknown things. And so I don't have a perfect life or an easy life. But again, I go back to the drawing board on this narrative and say, is that serving you? What are the messages that you're sending to yourself, to your body? Your body hears everything you say. So it is really important, the things that you say, just in the recesses of your mind. So give some thought to this week. What is your personal story? Is it, I am unlovable, I'll never find love, I'll never be successful, I'm too whatever? Oh my gosh. I mean, that's the one that just cripples most of us, is I'm too much or I'm not enough. And usually we're too much and not enough at the same time. Monica says, amen, girlfriend. I love a good amen at the end of a sermon. So that's number 2. Rewrite that narrative because it is holding you in place. You are in bondage. You're enslaved to whatever that narrative is. Change your programming. Number 3, there's an old saying, garbage in, garbage out. And it means whatever we put into it, and this can be food, anything. I'm talking about mentally. What do we take in? It programs us for success or failure. What we eat programs us for health or, unhealth, disease. But really, I'm talking more mind. So you have to ask yourself, particularly if you're feeling unhappy, if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling demoralized or daunted that you can't do the things, you can't make your vision come true, you can't hit those goals, stop and really take an inventory of what are you feeding into your brain? What are you reading? And here we are in social media. I got a love-hate relationship with it because it can be so great for stuff like this, but it is a den of nonsense and negative garbage. And every time you read one of those, just, imprints on your brain, one of the best things you can do for yourself is unfollow people. You don't have to disconnect from them if it's your second cousin or whatever. But if they're constantly spewing negativity and nonsense and it's invading your space and your peace, unfollow them so that it doesn't show up in your feed. Your feed is what you cultivate. And yeah, Facebook loves to push things, and Instagram also, it's a little bit better, but it's Zuckerberg 2.0. Unfollow people, guard your gate, quit giving people access to you, and quit giving them the ability to get inside your head and wreck your day. Quit renting space to them inside your head. Whatever they're saying, not that important or wouldn't upset you like it does. So what are you reading? What are you watching? TV shows, videos, whatever. What are you listening to on a daily basis? And equally as important, we have all of the social media online stuff. I mean, I get spam junky stuff in my text messages. I don't even know how that happens. I thought it was illegal. Who are you spending your time with? And what are they saying? And what do they have you thinking? What do they have you doing? Right? There's this whole bubble of a self-created reality, and then there's actual reality. I still hear people griping about gas prices, and they're not great, but my goodness, they're better than they've ever been. But if you're constantly surrounded by people who are griping about gas prices and how bad the economy is, you start to believe that stuff. I meant to take a picture when I was out yesterday. I always snap pictures of what the gas price is because the conversation going on is really not the reality of it. We're griping about gas prices 2 years ago. Anyway, I don't mean to get off on gas prices. It's a real thing, but allowing that to inundate you with negativity and negative messages, it's so disheartening when you listen to that all the time. And all of these negative messages, all this negative programming that comes in reinforces your negative self-talk and whatever your personal narrative is. And that narrative changes from person to person, but there's probably 10 or so, a dozen that we share in common. Let's see. Yes, avoid things that cause you pain. Absolutely, you should. Why subject yourself to that? Ask yourself, does this make me better? Does this move me forward? Does this help me tap into my greatness so that I can be great for others, so that I can change the lives of others or help other people change their lives? Or does this drag me down? Incidentally, I don't watch medical drama stuff. I don't need the reminder of everything that could go wrong. I have a full list. And sometimes you just unfollow people. You don't see them. Maybe you talk less, which is what Monica's saying, but you're not as upset and you're not as torn up over it, and your day isn't derailed by, whatever someone is posting. Better is not always happy, and that's good to remember and define. Oh, you have to quantify that for me, Monica. Better is not always happy. Yeah, happy is different for sure, and better is a term that's often determined by other people outside of what we think. Lisa says, as the old one here, I've learned to avoid what and who, but I can't beat myself more than anyone else. And that's the truth. And so this is like a little recipe. You need to quit beating yourself up, and you need to quit allowing things access to you that beat you down further, right? It's just you are a butterfly and you are supposed to soar and do great things and shine. And all this stuff is just like someone's tied a little rock to you and it just keeps you grounded. So if we can get rid of some of this stuff, you really can tap into your greatness and live the life that you were put here to live. And I think we were all put here for a reason, to achieve things, to help others. I think that's huge for me. But when you're a little butterfly with pebbles tied to you, it grounds you. And all of these are little pebbles. My other one, fourth, number 4 is quit shoulding all over yourself. We do it all day long. And I've caught myself doing that this week. So again, it isn't a discipline. It isn't something you do once. It's not like, there's an old saying that, a motivational speech doesn't work. And they're like, well, showering one day doesn't work either. You got to repeat it, right? Listening to a talk doesn't change your life. It's a daily process, a daily discipline. So quit shooting all over yourself. Nothing is more powerful than your own voice. And it's backed up by wherever these thoughts came from. Should is a dirty word. It's a dirty word. Take it out of your vocabulary. It is critical self-talk that beats you up. It is chastising, and it implies that you messed up somewhere and that you missed it and that it's over and you can't fix it and it's done. It's so fatalistic, that word. It lives in the past, and you cannot change the past. Incidentally, living in the past contributes to depression. And so whenever I'm working with a client who is dealing with depression, I'm not a therapist and I don't pretend to be one. And I say to everyone, we need to get you in with a good, solid therapist. But what I have learned just in working with people and in my own personal journey is when I'm dealing with depression, I am focusing on things in the rearview mirror that I can't do anything about. When I'm working with a client who is struggling with depression, their talk is all about was, had, didn't, should have, things that they can't do anything about. So instead, we've got to move into today. Incidentally, worrying about the future causes anxiety. It's a super fun thing. So instead of shoulding all over yourself, look at the situation. I should have invested when I was younger. Well, okay, you didn't. Maybe you're paying the bills and raising babies and feeding mouths, right? What can you do today? What can you learn from it? All you have is today forward. And the emphasis there, the magic there is turning something in the past that I can't control into a current action that I do have control over, that I have an effect over, that I can get up to today, right now. You don't even need a tomorrow. To now. You can change whatever that pattern is that you're shoulding all over yourself about. I should have worked out when I was younger. Whatever it is. Okay, great. What can you go do right now? It's a little bit late. Can you take a walk? Can you get up in the morning and take a walk? Can you, set your Fitbit? Can you really go for those 10,000 steps a day? What can you do now? Because all the rest of that is water under the bridge. Regret is pointless. And that's where should comes from. The key here is constantly challenging and reframing those should thoughts for yourself. Yeah, wish I'd done that, but what can I do today? I should have, when I first started in my business, I should have grabbed all the booths that were out there. Okay, well, you didn't, and they're probably full now. What can you do? So something you could do, all the booth space isn't full, by the way. The big ones are. What you could do is tomorrow, you could make a list of schools in your area, areas you want to serve. What month is this? March, February. And reach out to them and say, do you have any festivals or events coming up that have vendor space? There's hundreds of them, particularly private schools. It's part of how we make money is, vendor and event space. That's something you could do instead of focusing on what you should have done. Is that helpful? Oh yeah, Monica, I love this. Is this making me better versus is this making me happy, right? Yeah, I like that. So reframe for yourself these should thoughts, and if you tune your ear to it, you'll hear yourself say it to yourself all day long. I should have whatever. And number 5, last but not least, definitely is comparison. And we hear it's a thief of joy. Not only is it the thief of joy, it's the thief of success. When you're comparing your journey to someone else's, you have to run your own unique race. You have different lessons to learn. For me, everything is a growth opportunity. So if someone comes in and hits it and goes for it and whatever, great. And if it looks like they got there faster or easier or first or whatever, I have to respect the fact that there are lessons that I am supposed to learn along that route. She or he had different lessons, have different lessons. Their lessons may be learned elsewhere. They may have already learned the lessons prior to this. So we can't look at anyone else's journey and say, I'm failing because they did it faster or longer or whatever. What we can do in a positive way, instead of beating ourselves with a yardstick in the head that, someone outdid us at your job, at church, they're a better mom, whatever it is, they're a better dad, they're, whatever. Dad coaches 3 different sports teams and you're like, I don't even know how to play 3 sports, right? Instead, we can learn from their journey. We can study their success because it leaves clues in its wake. And it's just a mind shift. Instead of looking at someone else's success and saying, I'll never be like this, I'll never be like that, I'm not one of those people, I'm a failure, I can't do this. You can look at it and say, what can I learn from this? What can I emulate? Yeah. What can I duplicate? And what lessons can I learn from watching them? I watch people all the time, particularly in social media when they have, wild viral shares and whatever. I'm also not going to dance for you guys. So there's a line in the sand where, I want all the, I'd love to have that viral TikTok following, but I'm a terrible dancer. Also not going to sing, more for your benefit than mine. But anyway, study success. It leaves clues in its wake. And quit beating yourself up with someone else's yardstick because they're struggling in ways that you may not see, might not be visible to you. They're learning lessons somewhere. They just might not be learning them in your arena. So I hope that's helpful. That's really kind of what I had to share. I'd like to take some questions here at the end. I would love to hear from you personally, how this topic affected you, what you gained from it, how the next week goes. This is a public video, so you can tag people in it that you think might like it. You can tag your team. You can share it into your team space or your group space, your women's group or whatever. If you're in a motivational group, hey, I heard this and it really spoke to me. Here's what I love about it. That's why I'm doing it this way for this series, is so that people have access to it. The mastermind program begins in March, and I can promise you it will be life-changing. It really is the culmination of what I've learned on my personal journey in the last couple of years. Topics like this, but it combines coaching with training, and it draws on cognitive behavioral therapy and mindfulness, and it all aimed at positioning you to be as great as you are. You just need to get out of your own way. So if you want to know more about the mastermind, you can just drop mastermind in the comments, and then I'll go through comments here. Oh, Alexandria, it's so good to see you, and you're amazing too. We're all amazing if we'll just let ourselves be amazing instead of telling ourselves we're too XYZ or not enough, whatever it is. What do you recommend to say when you fail at a task? Monica, that's such a great question. So let's say, I don't know, the task. Was your timeline too truncated? Were there things that you hadn't prepared for? So if you want to give me an example, but I can use one. Let's say, because I'm dealing with a lot of entrepreneurs, let's say I had a sales goal this month and I didn't hit it. Okay, great. That happens all the time. What worked and what didn't work? And we take what worked and we do more of it. And we take what didn't work and we don't do that anymore. And I don't mean that to be simplistic, but we really have to break it down as to why did I fail. I would also encourage you to reframe the word failure. You learned a lesson. you got further down the field than you were. And I remember football. My daughter was a cheerleader, so we were at every football game, right? And whoever was the caller, whoever was doing a sound, I think it was a parent. But anyway, he used to always say, "Chains win games," right? So it isn't, did I score the touchdown? How far down the field did I get? What can I do differently next month to get further down the field? What helped me? What hindered me? Does that help? It's a great question. Lisa, I see you're a mastermind. You're going to love it. Anybody else before we wrap up? I'm really enjoying doing this series kind of out there. If live videos scare you, you should just go live on your personal profile in front of like your family and friends. It's terrifying. Anyway, so Monica, yeah, you like that. Yeah, failure. There is no failure. And it's corny to say, you only fail when you quit trying, but it's true. Up until that point, you're just perfecting your process. You're learning the next lesson. You're getting better at it. I could tell you a million stories back in my early days when I sold cosmetics of, good Lord, I drove 2 hours back when we did home shows predominantly and sell a $14 eyeliner. Was it a failure? No, I connected with someone, something. I was there for a reason. And so you can message me and tell me what you think this perceived failure on your part is, because I don't think that there is one. I think that you have high expectations. And, sometimes it's a process of evolution. So we can set a goal. Any goal is just a guess, right? And it's so interesting to me, people are scared to set them because you don't want to miss them. Most of us don't hit them the first time because we have to learn the lessons along the journey to get there. So anyway, thank you guys for spending a little time with me. Don't forget to share or tag with someone that you think might really benefit from this. And if you're not signed up to get reminders, drop reminders in there because I send out a reminder, email or text, your choice. Just remind you that it's coming up, and then send you the link to the playbacks too. So y'all have a great, great Tuesday night. We can keep the conversation going here in the chat and on the thread, or you can PM me too. I like it on the thread if it's not too personal because it helps others. Like Monica, your question, what do you recommend to say when you failed a task? That is going to touch so many people tonight. And, if you just message it to me, it would just be between you and I, but you were brave enough to share that with everyone. And a lot of people are going to be helped by your question tonight. All right. I love you guys so much. I'll see you at the next one, and look for your reminder of where to find this link and next week's topics. We have Zoom coming up. We have breath work for anxiety and depression, and I've got a lot of really neat things coming up for you. I put this together from my heart. So, all right, see you soon.